All right, it's day 31 on trail, getting ready to leave here from the Pass Mountain Hut. We have about, I don't know, good 3/10 of a mile to get up out of here, back onto the trail. And our first big stop is going to be Elkwallow at about 7.7 miles from here. That'll be back on the Appalachian Trail, and here we go for day 31. All right, getting ready to cross over Skyline Drive again. This is Beham's app, B-E-A-H-M-S, Gap. Wonder if it's or maybe it's just a turn off. I thought at first it was a roundabout kind of thing, and that was the end of the Skyline Drive. But must just be a turn off right there. Yeah. A little bit of a breeze this morning. It feels so good. Oh, that feels so good. I can't believe I've already been out here 4 weeks. The time really flew by. I cannot get over how fast it went by. At some point today, I believe it'll be today. I'll have to look again, but at some point today I should go over the my 800 mile mark. For total 18 miles, not this time out, but for total 18 miles. I should go over the 800 mark today. And to think that's not even halfway yet. But you know what? It's more than 1/3 of the way. Talk about a godsend and God moments. Came upon this tree that is totally across the trail, has not been cut. No way to get up there and around it. So Slapshot came up here. I mean, he was here already. Got over it, so he just grabbed my pack for me, took my pack, and then I was able to climb without my pack on. So what a godsend that was, that he was here and able to do that for me, because that was a huge, huge help. But yeah, the people maintaining the trail, I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. The people maintaining the trail here in Shenandoah are not doing a very good job. That's all I can say. There are so many blowdowns that need to be taken care of, and they have not been out here and done a thing with them. It's about 2.9 miles to the Wayside. I really thought earlier Skyline was the last one on Skyline Drive, but it's not the last Wayside. It's Elkwallow is the last one. So I have that all messed up. But how nice that once again we'll have a lunch from a grill. It's been nice being in the trees, that there are some leaves on them to help keep the sun off me. That's been very nice. overall, it's a gorgeous day. Another gorgeous day. We've been very blessed with the good weather. Pretty down through this area of the walk. Should be just about 1 mile or a little less than 1 mile from the wayside. The sun is behind some clouds and down here in these trees, and it's nice, cooler. Feels great. And it feels really good. My feet are ready for a good rest. So hopefully at least a 30-minute break up here. Just got off my feet. The grill is supposed to be open. I think I'll go ahead and have myself a hamburger, something good protein. My muscles need some protein. Slap shot up there. Yep, good idea. Soak the hat, put it back on the head. Great idea. See a little stream. Carries on down. All right, here we are coming into Elkwallow Wayside. Whew, that's a mouthful for me. We're going to see, I'm sure, a few people that we know. The car can stop. Well, it was an awesome stop here at this wayside. I went ahead and had myself a smash burger, a small Dr. Pepper, some French fries, and even a bag of salt and vinegar potato chips. And now took all my socks and shoes off, aired my feet out, getting everything back on now, hit the bathroom and head back over. On the other side of that truck there is our trail. That's a side trail over there that will lead us back to the AT, and then north we will go. Looks like we're going to probably do another 6 miles. Excuse me, that'll get us to the next shelter. What we're running into again is the water supply issue. So those 6 miles, there's no water. We have to go down to that shelter area to get water. And then there's not water again after the shelter for like another 3 or 4 miles. So pretty much our camping is being dictated by where we're able to get our water supply. All right, we're coming out on the Skyline Drive again. And up ahead there, Rattlesnake Point Overlook, elevation 3,105 feet. Now, we are not going up there. Well, I'm not. And then across the way we go. Over here you see the white blaze, so that's our trail. And then there's a place, this sign here says Matthew's Arm, 1,200 feet to the right. All right, we're at 3,200 feet, and this is a slight view to the west from up here. We just had a short little rain shower, and depending on the direction of the wind, just over this next mountain, just over that ridge there, which of course now it's focusing on my finger, just over that ridge there, you can tell it is raining pretty good. So hopefully the way the winds are blowing, it'll stay south of us. Beautiful, beautiful. Fire starter, you would love this. This is Hogback Overlook. Looks down at the town of Front Royal. I'm just not sure where that town is right now. It's getting pretty hazy. Rumbles of thunderstorms coming in. But this is absolutely beautiful. I think I say that every time there's a picture. Absolutely beautiful. With the town of Front Royal, they say maybe that's way, way, way in the background there. But yep, I need to keep moving. How pretty it is going through this area down here. All the rocks and the trees up there. And if there is a place to fall while I'm filming, this would be it. Because there are a lot of rocks and stumps with roots out. Hasn't been too bad since we went down since we went up that strenuous hill for the 2 miles. Hasn't been too bad after that. This has been about the steepest downhill we've had, and it is filled with rocks. But overall, ever since we left Elkwallow, it just hasn't been too bad of a hike. There was thunder and off in the distance. It started getting really dark, so we threw Chica and I put our ponchos on. Saran Wrap's behind me. She put her raincoat on. We hiked for about 20 minutes, and it looks like the thunderstorm blew away from us. So off came our rain gear, which was great because it is hot. So the shelter is up there. Slapstick had his tent up when we got here. Chica took that spot right there. A family is way up the hill there and said there were not any openings. Unfortunately, I didn't check because of what they said, and that found out later that was not true, and there were 4 spots open up there. They have already been filled now. So one of the family members said down this trail there were a couple spots. So I decided to head on down this trail. So I am now the only one down this trail. So I know I will not have a great night of sleep because every little noise to me will be a bear. So I'm not near anybody at all. I am literally way down this trail by myself. We'll get down here and you're going to see there's a tree that has fallen across the path, which I have to either get down low to get under or go over the top of it. Since I do not have my pack on, I get down on hands and knees almost and go under it. Good night. Good night. And then I continue down the path. Okay. So now I continue down the path. And I get to my little tent site. So again, I am way out here by myself. I'm not used to being that far away from other people while camping. So we'll see how I do. And then if I can catch it up there, a little bit of the sunset going behind the mountain. I don't know what else is way down there. I haven't gone. But this is my setup right here. It was very hot. The sun was just shining right on there. It was so warm. But I was able to go ahead and get in and get changed. Get all that done and set my clothes out there to dry. They smell really bad. So get all the sweat to dry off them. I'll get inside and hopefully there won't be critters running all around and making me think they're bears. But you all have a great night, and I pray I have a good one too. Well, good morning. It's day 32. Heading out from the shelter and going north. We'll get up to Route 522, which will take us then to get a ride into Front Royal. It's almost a 14-mile day, and there's no doubt my body is looking forward to having a 0 tomorrow. Having a 15-mile day, then a 14-mile day, and now almost another 14-mile day. Boy, this is a steep climb out of this area. Not even on the trail yet. And taking a look ahead, it could take us 4.5 days to get up to Harper's Ferry. That's a huge goal for us. And then we'll take a look after that. Whew. I slept just okay last night. As you saw in the video, my tent was set up quite a bit of ways from everybody else. So of course every little noise, I think it's a bear. But just as I got in my tent last night, you could hear a tree fall. Everybody heard it. It was further down in the gap, way down. But still, no wind, no rain, yet a tree fell. So that made it a little nervous for me. I was near some really good trees. I didn't see any dead trees around me at all. So that was fine. Ooh-wee. And these 0.2 miles here don't count as part of the Appalachian Trail. There we have it. I'm finally coming to the end of this side trail and headed back onto the Appalachian Trail. Whew. Sorry if this is a repeat, but it was the first time using my Garmin for weather because I haven't had a signal in quite a while. And it shows rain by 10 o'clock, and then at noon thunderstorms start off and on for the rest of the day. Crossing over Skyline Drive again this morning. See what it says up here. Browntown Trail. So this says Garvel Springs Gap, elevation 2,655 feet. You can see the two white blazes right there. So we're heading in the right direction. Browntown, you can see it'll be a brown blaze. And I'm sure at some point they will split. So as a hiker, you need to know which blaze you are looking for. So the Appalachian Trail is the white blaze. As can be expected, it's very humid this morning, and you're expecting showers to come in. It's just that dead air. No breeze, just dead heavy air. I think my favorite thing when we get in town, my favorite thing is going to be taking a shower. I have not had a shower since Monday. This is Saturday. I may look into some dry shampoo, but my head is just starting to itch. So I'm sure needing to be shampooed. This is a view to the west. Still in Shenandoah National Park. We're about 10 more miles to go to get out of the park and then head towards our, another 3 miles towards our pickup point. But how beautiful. Man, oh man. Brightside and her college roommate, they graduated decades ago. They came here and camped here last night, had their dinner, watched a sunset, watched a storm roll by out there. Just beautiful. Very interesting that there's remnants of what used to be a structure of some sort. A building at some point. I don't see anything on the Far Out app saying anything about it. Normally they have a little sign in the app or a comment and they're letting you know what it might be or the history of it. But there's nothing in there. Nice little lunch break here by the stream. Filled up our water bottles. I'm now heading back up about 0.4 miles to the top of the hill. And we have about 6.9 miles or so to our pickup point to get into Front Royal. So there's 3 ham radio operators out here. They've got a station set up and they do send out different transmissions. So ham radio operators for the summit, they call it. And they come up and send out like 5 different messages, I guess, and then they finish for the day. But it was pretty neat. There were 3 of them in total. They each had an antenna, and the lady at the end there had the little machine, and I could hear it, did it, da da da, did it, da da da, did it, da da da. And I'm like, oh, CQ, CQ, CQ. She's like, you're right, you could be a ham radio operator. I said, no, but my brother in Rochester, New York, he did that for a little while. He was a ham radio operator. Pretty neat to come upon that out here in the park. To Compton Gap, an elevation of 2,415 feet. The sky is starting to get a little bit darker. Definitely an isolated area because to the left and right it's a little lighter, but up ahead it's pretty dark. Haven't heard any rumbles of thunder though, which is nice. Very lush green in this section. I thought there would be signs letting us know that we're leaving Shenandoah National Park, but we haven't seen a thing. But we are officially out of the park because we just passed the Thomas Floyd Shelter, which is outside the park boundaries on the northern end. So I thought there'd be a big sign or something letting us know. So that was kind of disappointing. The sun continues to be behind the clouds and it continues to be a very humid, heavy air day. We've met a lot of people going in the opposite direction. So they've parked at the different car park areas or trailheads and have been hiking up towards the top there. I'm not sure if it's Mount Marshall or what they're headed to, but they're going hiking somewhere. So I think all along here where we're hiking and seeing the fencing inside there may possibly be Shenandoah National Park, and that's why we're on the outside of the fence. I'm not sure if that is what it is, but we've seen this fence, that fence down there for quite a while. Alright, just come out from the woods and I have no idea what that is over there, but it's like a campground of some sort. All the roofs are the same color. It's going to be hard to see through this fence. There's one of them, one of the buildings. Huh. Whew. How nice this is on the feet. says I have about, a map is showing about a half mile to the road. Bunch of private homes over on the right-hand side. There's some woods there, but people living on the other side of it. Some man out here cutting a lawn. That's very nice of him. He's cutting down the trail. That's cool. Almost near Route 522. Here's a lake. Some folks out there fishing. You can see the sky. I don't know if that's a thunderstorm coming in, but pretty dark out there. Oh, the breeze feels good. Can definitely tell the weather's going to change. The wind is kicked up. I can hear cars. I don't know how much farther away I am, but I can hear cars. It must get quite swampy down here. Got this nice footbridge. Here's all this fencing again. Oops, sorry about that camera movement. Something big just buzzed by my head a couple times. Oh my. Alright, I can see cars going by. I can see a couple parked cars up there. And a really, really steep climb. Must be runoff from that little lake I was just looking at. Oh man, I wish I could have caught that. What a cardinal it looked like, just went flying underneath that little bridge. Came out to the right of me. And there we have it. Up there is the roadway. Woohoo! Wait for Chica and Slapshot and we'll get a ride into town. Alright, this sign here says, "Welcome to the Appalachian Trail, America's oldest continuous operating volunteer-driven conservation project, approximately 2,200 miles long. The AT is a public footpath that traverses 14 states along the Appalachian Highlands, from Springer Mountain in Georgia to Mount Katahdin in Maine. Part of the National Park System, the trail is preserved and managed by the Appalachian Trail Conservancy with the assistance of the regional trail club affiliates. The Potomac Appalachian Trail Club maintains the AT and shelters in the Front Royal vicinity. Hiking the trail south from this point parallels the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute." That's what that fence was around. "That property for 1.4 miles before crossing VA 602 and a stream. Past the stream, you ascend the trail. You ascend to the side trail to the Northern Virginia 4-H Center at 2.1 miles and the Tom Floyd Shelter at 3 miles. Hiking past the shelter, you reach Possum's Rest Overlook and the Shenandoah National Park boundary at 3.6 miles. Backcountry permits are required for camping in Shenandoah National Park. Hiking the trail north from here, you cross and parallel US 522, then skirt the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute property and ascend 1,000 feet and about 2.5 miles to a high point near the summit of High Knob. After High Knob, you begin a gradual descent past the Mosby Primitive Campsite at 3 miles and reach the Jim and Molly Denton Shelter at about 5 miles. At 6 miles, you cross VA 638 and enter the Piedmont Orchard Meadow. Nice views appear as you ascend. Continue downhill to reach VA 55 at Manassas Gap, Route I-66 at 8.2 miles. There we go, and this will be hard to see but it says you are here on this map, and it's pointing at Front Royal, Warren County. And of course then you have all of that to go all the way up. So just as Chica and I come up to the roadway, about 10 seconds later this trolley pulls up, gives you a free ride down into town. So we received a free ride down into town, into Front Royal. He makes his round. He has certain stops he has to make. It takes him about a half hour to make his loop. There's nobody on it, just Chica and I. And we probably make the whole thing smell. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
There's the UPS.
Here's Sue. We have Rocky, Jill, and what was your name again? Chica. We're all here at some the Brick House. The Brick House in Front Royal. The steak was excellent. Yep, an awesome company.